very good morning to you all. I'm at an Air Force base in Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. I've been here for a few days, setting up everything, hopefully, that we will need for our new late night show based in America that will be starting in September. And this morning, I'm kicking off this incredible journey by jumping on Air Force One with President Donald Trump as he heads over to Scotland for a meeting with Keir Starmer and to open his golf courses, of course. And so I will bring you as much of this as I can. I don't think I slept at all last night. I saw the alarm clock at midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I got out of bed. So I can't wait. I'm very excited, and hopefully I will bring you everything that I possibly can to all our GB News viewers, listeners and members.
Let's now speak to GB News political editor Christopher Hope to give us the latest details. Christopher, are you there?
That's right, Dawn. Hello. Yeah, we're watching agog there as Donald Trump left the White House, boarded Marine One, flew, of course, to Air Force One, where we also saw that taking off. Now, there's quite a few news lines in there.
Yes.
We heard there from the President saying he's going to meet with the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. He said tonight, but we do think that is actually Monday. So we don't expect the President to meet with the Prime Minister until Monday. Then they'll have their bilateral meeting. Of course, we're seeing President Trump will be in Turnberry Golf Club until then. Then he flies off to Aberdeen. So the politics of this private visit to Scotland don't start until Monday. Our Prime Minister will not be there until Monday. That's very clear. They got on very well. He said this warm relationship, a rather surprising one, I think, between a left-wing Labour Prime Minister and a right-wing Republican President. They get on very well. They seem to respect each other. And that is both ways, not just the Labour Prime Minister getting close to the President. It's also the other way around. So we're expecting them to talk. We heard there that Donald Trump wants to discuss the trade deal and maybe even approve it, which is a slight surprise because I was over in the Rocky Mountains when Donald Trump was there with Keir Starmer, and we thought it had been approved and signed off then. Maybe what Donald Trump means is they want to expand it away from the bare bones of the deal at the moment to include things like pharmaceuticals, to include maybe a deal on aluminium and steel. We're watching on screen now Air Force One taking off. That should be a 6 or 7 hour flight to Scotland. By my calculations on my watch, that means he arrives about an hour later than expected, or 2 hours later, so maybe 8 or 9 p.m. tonight, wheels down in Scotland. But as I say there, certainly very warm words there from Donald Trump. He leaves behind in America, of course, all that controversy over the Epstein scandal and the questions he has got to answer about those issues. Those will follow him with the US press pack on that flight. And on that plane you're seeing on screen there is our colleague Bev Turner, who is shortly to anchor a new show for GB News from America. So she's on Air Force One. We'll hear when she lands if she had a chance to speak to Donald Trump.
I'm sure she will, knowing Bev. I mean, she is excellent at her job. And it's a very exciting time for GB News. We will be broadcasting live from America every night with Bev, obviously in charge of that.
All of them, yes.
What advice are you going to have for our Prime Minister about free speech? It's very important to people here.
Well, it is, but I like your Prime Minister. He's slightly more liberal than I am, as you've probably heard. But he's a good man. He got a trade deal done. And, they've been working on this deal for 12 years. He got it done. It's a good deal. It's a good deal for the UK. So, no, I'll be seeing him tomorrow, I guess, tomorrow evening. And this is our wonderful ambassador, as you know. He's doing a good job. He's a very, very successful man. He'll be doing a good job.
You've done an amazing job on illegal migration in America.
I have.
People here are very worried about the situation. Record numbers.
Well, I say two things to Europe. Stop the windmills. You're ruining your countries. I really mean it. It's so sad. You fly over and you see these windmills all over the place, ruining your beautiful fields and valleys and killing your birds. And if they're stuck in the ocean, ruining your oceans. Stop the windmills. And there's a couple of things I could say, but on immigration, you better get your act together. Or you're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together. And we, as you know, last month we had nobody entering our country. Nobody. Shut it down. And we took out a lot of bad people that got there with Biden. Biden was a total stiff. And what he allowed to happen, but you're allowing it to happen to your countries. And you got to stop this horrible invasion that's happening to Europe. Many countries in Europe. Some people, some leaders have not let it happen. And they're not getting the proper credit they should. I could name them to you right now, but I'm not going to embarrass the other ones. But stop. This immigration is killing Europe. And the other thing, stop the windmills, killing the beauty of your countries. Thank you very much, everybody.
Now, Christopher, this is ostensibly a private visit. Yet, as we can see, Air Force One's taken off. We understand Trump has his car over here, the Beast, the armour-plated car that he travels in. So it's sounding more and more like a state visit.
Yes, well, it appears to be one in the sense that you've got Air Force One taking off and making very, it's the president flying there with a press bag. But when he lands, there won't be marching bands on the tarmac in Scotland or the King to meet him. The PM, Keir Starmer, he won't meet him until Monday, so there won't be any formal dignitaries meeting him. I can't speak for the Scottish First Minister, John Swinney. He also wants to meet him, but there's no UK involvement with this visit until Monday, and that's when it all starts. So he really is flying as much as you can if you're the President of the United States, as a private individual with a huge press back in tow on your own 747.
OK, Chopper, one final question. Just in that little press conference Mr Trump gave before he got on the plane there, many of the questions were about Ghislaine Maxwell and the whole Epstein saga. Now, that really has caught the imagination in America, a lot more than here.
Yes, it really has. Ghislaine Maxwell, of course, a British woman. She was jailed as part of this people trafficking investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein died, of course, while being held on remand. He committed suicide, although that is questioned by a lot of people now. Donald Trump was someone who was close to Epstein until they fell out in the early noughties over a property deal. What did Donald Trump know about Epstein's activities? And that's why Ghislaine Maxwell has been questioned for 2 days, I think, by the Deputy Attorney General for the United States. We're not sure where that's going to play. Donald Trump, when he was fighting for power, he did say he wanted the Epstein files to be published. These are files assembled by investigators into him, into his inquiry. And, of course, the big political question is who else is named in those files?
Well,
is Donald Trump in it or not? If so, how much? Again, we don't know any detail on this. There's rumours and lots of rumours in the state. It is starting to dog him, and he's not happy about it. And how he puts a lid on that, we'll wait and see. That could all happen, frankly, Dawn, in Scotland.
It could do. It's going to be very interesting. As you say, he has the American press pack as well as our very own Bev Turner travelling with him. Just finally, Christopher, in that little press conference just now, when he was asked about France and Macron declaring Palestine an independent state, or should be recognised an independent state, Trump's answer was typical Trump. He said, he's a good guy, but doesn't matter.
Yes, I mean, I think the Gaza recognition announcement overnight from France will dominate elements of this visit. We know almost certainly that Donald Trump will side with Israel, so won't want to recognise Palestine as an independent state, as 150 other countries have done. But this is going to bubble under now because we're going to see France make that case at the United Nations General Assembly meeting in the third week of September. How the UK reacts to that, how Donald Trump reacts to that will become part of the conversation. And we're seeing in the UK, the Foreign Affairs Committee, the all-party group, chaired by Labour MP Emily Thornberry. Her group is saying today that the UK should recognise the Palestinian state while there's still a state to recognise. And other cabinet ministers also, Peter Kyle last night, the Shadow Tech Secretary, he's saying it's intolerable what's going on in Gaza. We have to hasten discussions about statehood. We're seeing other remarks too from other people within the cabinet. So Lisa Nandy and Shimana Mahmood, Hilary Benn, and others too. So a key issue, I think, Dawn, is how to treat Gaza, and can Donald Trump hold the line and keep supporting Israel, which clearly doesn't want Palestine to be recognised as an independent state.
Christopher, there are so many questions, and we will delve further into them later on in the show, including how Keir Starmer has literally 2 days to improve his golf, because that is where a lot of this is going to happen. Christopher, I hope we will speak again soon. Thank you very much.